welcome back to my channel. This is What is Wednesday. For those of you that are brand new to my channel, welcome. What is Wednesday is a series started on my channel where anybody and everybody can comment, complain, and your concerns out there. I basically do what is, where is, why is, and I'm now going to be doing how is, or how. So basically you can come to my channel, comment anywhere you want. I have the links to my social medias are down in the description box down below of every video. So without further ado, let's get into some of you guys' complaints. As you just heard by that intro, this is What is Wednesday, and I am your host, Cherish, and we are at episode 27 for What is Wednesday. So the iCard over here has all the other What is Wednesday episodes in the playlist, as well as the description box down below. It does have a list of each and every episode. That way, if you want to just click a specific one that you've missed, you can go ahead and do that. So next week is 28, and there will also be either before Wednesday or after Wednesday of next week. There will be an updates just to give you guys a little bit of information on some up and coming things that are going to be added, things that are going to be removed, just to give you guys an itinerary for next week. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe if you're not already. Turn on your notification bell if you haven't already, because now being subscribed is not the only way to get notified when I upload any videos. I will throw it out there now. I do already realize that this video is basically going to go up Thursday morning. That's what it's going to look like. And yeah, it's because it's being filmed super duper late. Today is Wednesday at least. But by the time I get done, it's going to be Thursday, so it's going to be going up technically Thursday. But that is because I had a really crazy couple days this week. And last weekend was a really hard weekend for me. I lost my bunny. She passed away. So, it's just been really, really hard. I know it's so stupid to people who aren't an animal person, but if you don't have kids, fleshies, when you have animal kids, they're like your little heart and soul. So, yeah. And she came at a time when I needed her really, really bad. So I could dwell on that forever and ever, but I would rather not. And let's just jump in and get started. So the first one comes from a friend on Instagram, and she says, "What is one thing that gets you through when times are tough? For me, it has always been the smile on my now 5-year-old's face. She and I have been living in a woman's home since she was 8 months old. It's been a rough ride for us. The rules are tough, but the blessings are bountiful. But when the virus hit, it got harder. The woman's home was talking about closing and sending us all out on our butts. So we got a grant from the government, and things are looking up for us. But the biggest thing that has kept me going, my little angel's smile. She makes everything better than any blessing in the world." It's really nice when you can have something to focus on, when you're going through, no matter what struggle it is. I put myself in no one else's shoes but my own. I do try and understand how people are feeling when they're dealing with something, but I never try and say, "Oh, I know what you're going through." This one is from my best friend on Twitter, and she says, "Did any of you guys ever try and skip school or class and try and get away with it?" So my son went into his senior year of high school last year, and after the first semester, his grades had started going down. He had always been a B to C student in high school, but oddly enough, he was now a C to D student. When his teacher and I met before Christmas break last year, his teacher and I wanted to know why he was failing turns out his girlfriend that I didn't know about went to a different school and started at a later time than he did. So when I dropped him off, he would ditch his first 2 classes every day and go to her class 3 blocks away. So while she was on time and present for each class, my son was failing and now is doing his senior for the second time online instead of graduating back in May when his girlfriend and classmates did. Sucks to be him. Yeah, that would suck to be him. Freshman year was probably the time that I regret the most. It was actually really, really funny. So my best friend, who's my sister, like my sister, I should say. She's like my sister. It's kind of funny because it's kind of just like her son's situation. My best friend did start. I actually had like a little mini group. So it was like a group of 4 of us that we were all best friends. And the 4 best friends and me, they all started at second period, which was second start. And first start started at like 7:40 in the morning, and second start started at almost 9 because it was like 8:40. And I hated having first start to begin with it. So a lot of the times, because my siblings and I all had to go to school and we all went to basically different schools, we all had different start times, different end times. So basically, I was a lot of the time late anyways. Or gonna be late. So most of the time, I had just decided to start ditching my first period class. And when I found out my best friend, the group of best friends all started at second start and they had a hangout spot, I would go and hang out with them and skip first start. Now, granted, I got out first, so I had to wait for them to get out. But yeah, it was always funny. Well, I did wind up getting caught. I had 67 missed classes. Now, I don't know why the teacher wasn't calling, but I think he was calling, or the school was calling, but my brother always missed a bunch of classes, either 1 class all the time or 2 classes. So anytime the district called, my dad just ignored it, and so did my mom, just because they knew it had to do with my brother and it never had to do with us. So I did wind up getting away with it for 67 classes. Finally, my teacher had, because when I started, I was in class. Well, my teacher actually, I guess he had some sort of car situation to where the beginning half of his class, he had a substitute. The second half of his class, he was actually walking up on campus. I was hanging out with my friends, and he didn't say anything. He walked right past me, and I just kind of pretended like I didn't see him, like I didn't know him, but he kind of knew me. And now I wasn't like 100% known student. He wound up calling my dad personally and telling him that I was obviously ditching first period every day. So when I got home, I got a yelling at, and I was in trouble. And I actually was not allowed to ditch anymore. And my teacher actually told me that if I was going to do that, he would escort me personally to my class. So I was afraid he would do that and embarrass me in front of all my friends. So yeah. My second year, which was my sophomore year, I did do it then too. This time I got in second start, and all my friends had first start. So I would ditch my 7th period, which was actually ROTC. And I hated ROTC anyways. I did get caught there too. So it was like all bad, and yeah, I got in trouble. I never got away with it, let's just put it that way. So this next one comes from a friend on Instagram, and she said, did your parents ever lie for you, or were they the type that turned you in the second they found something out? So my twin brother and me always did things together. We got praised together. We got in trouble together. Last year was the first time in 23 years we started doing things separately. I went to college. He turned to a gaming career. My brother took online classes for college while he did his gaming. During Turkey Day last year, I had 2 weeks break and came home. My brother only had 5 days off. He decided to focus on his gaming while he was on break, but he was still supposed to be studying for his midterms. 2 days after Turkey Day would be his test. Did he study? Nope, he played instead. So when the day of his test came, he begged my mom to talk to his professor and tell him some big lie to get 1 extra week to study. My brother blamed his unreadiness on the holiday. My mom was about to do it when she got an email from the professor about how his live stream web series for the holiday was a hit. The email from the professor gave my mom a lot of info she didn't know was happening behind her back. She was so mad at him, and instead of telling the professor a sob story about him unable to take the test due to the holidays, she told the professor that my brother was for sure going to fail due to the fact that he had not been studying and was for sure live streaming instead. Burn. Indeed. Burn indeed. No, I never, my parents never would lie for me. They, if they ever found out, like, why we were doing something, yeah, no, they would tell our teachers or whoever needed to know. This one comes from my friend on Instagram, and she says, have you ever had an in-school suspension? My 15-month younger sister and me got into a huge fight in high school just before our school dance. We were in the same grade and had most of the same classes. She hated doing the homework and loved to beg me to either do it for her or copy off me. Well, we had 2 projects that were due in history class, and I refused to help her write one of the essays on a historical event because I knew if we turned in the same paper, we would both fail. So I refused. Well, to my sister's dismay, that didn't work for her. She tried to steal my flash drive with my paper on it, and I found out just in time to get it back before class. But as we were heading to class, she decided to make a scene and start a huge fight, to which I fought back. And in the end, we both lost our dance privileges and were suspended for 2 days on campus, meaning we still went to school, but were put in one class for the whole day. We did kindergarten learning of how to get along and the do's and don'ts of fighting during school hours. It sucked, but at least the homework was easy and she had to finally learn to do her own homework on her own. Yeah. I never had an in-school suspension. I did get suspended only one time for fighting, but the basis of it was basically protecting my own brother. My brother had an explosive behavioral disorder, so he got mad pretty easy, and he was kind of like the Hercules on our family. He didn't know his own strength, and he could hurt somebody. He had a boy in his class. Now, I was in 7th grade, and my brother was in 6th grade. So he had a boy in his class who was also in 6th grade that was constantly picking on him and picking at our last name. So this boy had decided he was going to go a step further and start being very rude to my brother. And he actually started pushing my brother. And my brother just stood there and took it. Finally, I was over it. Because first of all, when you're picking on our last name, you're picking on both of us, not just one of us. You're picking on our whole family. So I shoved this boy into the gate because he had been pushing my brother a bunch of times. Well, he had a sister who was in my grade. His sister came up and she slapped me across the face. I looked and I was like, the war is on. And I threw down my backpack. She had thrown hers down, and I went after her, and I started punching and kicking and definitely attacking her. She was the type that was into hair pulling, trying to scratch, and that was about it. But I beat the crap out of her, and for 3 security guards to pull me off of her. and we were taken to the office to explain the situation. The vice principal, she said that we were all at fault, and she basically was going to suspend all of us. Her mom was their mom, I should say, was the first one to show up and was going to press charges against me, but then the vice principal was like, no, you can't press charges, blah, blah, blah. They both were fighting. She was like, my kid's nose is busted. I was just like sitting there, me and my brother, we were just laughing. We were like, this is funny. I was like, this is so funny. And literally, I was defending my family and my brother. And she hit me first. And my mom always taught me that if they hit you first, you have every right to hit back. So I did. And yeah. But it was perfectly fine. We were going to be going, basically we were suspended the day before Easter break anyways. So we only missed one day of school, and then Easter break happened. And my brother was changing schools anyways. So only I was returning to that campus anyways. But they suspended us for like a couple days, but the couple days went right into our break. So when Easter break was over, I got to go back. She never messed with me again, thank God. She actually was afraid of me. But when she was around her friends, she would act like, there's that girl who beat me up. And I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. I beat you up. So this next one is a bit of a long one. It's also the last one. But this one is from me. I know I haven't done one in a while, but I need to do this one. I've usually been trying to just let you guys do them, but based on my situation, I needed to do this one. Why is death so hard to get through no matter what or who dies? Death is hard to bear, a family pet or family member or even a family friend. Death is a hard pill to swallow. 2020 has been the hardest year for most people, I'm sure. In my own family, 2020 has taken 3 pets from our house. When January started, we had 7 pets. We called them the 7 dwarfs. Then in a matter of 3 months, we were down a dwarf, when our oldest dog passed away, and quickly we replaced her. Then in another month, we went down again when our chinchilla passed away. Now we are down 1 more. Saturday, I lost my 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old bunny rabbit. She passed away in my arms. It was the hardest to deal with, but these 3 lives were not the only ones. Oldest dog. The same day that we lost our oldest dog, one of my adopted aunts lost her youngest dog. He died the same morning ours died. But in the flesh world, the end of May, my last adopted grandma passed from virus. The beginning of June, another one of my adopted aunt's adopted sisters lost her mother, also to virus. The end of July, my adopted brother also lost his mother to the virus. And the middle of last week, my mom and adopted aunts lost a close friend they used to work with. He lost his battle after having a stroke the beginning of this month. I knew there were so many and I know there are so many others who have been affected. It's hard to believe how hard this year has been between virus and fires left and right. It's been a very hard year. I just can't wait till this year ends and we can start a new one. So basically, like I said, I don't normally do ones, but that one, I feel like, it needed to be done because so many people are suffering right now and struggling. Some of my friends didn't even want to speak up this time around just because 2020 has done something to them. So that's kind of why, I'm a Halloween child, always have been, but I'm ready for Christmas and New Year's. I know that every year can have someone die, something happen, but when so many bad things happen all in one year, you're just ready for the year to be over. This year, I just want to make it to the end of the year with nothing else happening, and just make it through. But that is all I have for you guys today in this video. Stay tuned for 28 and the What is Wednesday updates video for 29, and then into 30. And I'm so excited for that. I'm trying to find excitement. In a lot of things, it's so hard to be excited when so much is happening, but I am trying to find the positives. So forgive me if I've seen low energy today. Yesterday, I was extremely extremely exhausted. I only had 3 hours of sleep yesterday. And normally I do start right at midnight filming this, midnight on Wednesdays filming this, so that I have a chance to edit it, and then by 8 o'clock I can upload it. But I massively failed because I was so tired yesterday. And like I said, my energy level has been extremely down ever since Saturday. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's so stupid, but you know what, to each his own. But that is all I have for you guys today in this video. I really am excited about Vlogoween coming. I have a lot of updates for Vlogoween as well. Please don't mind the border that's up. I am going currently after what is Wednesday to be filming some intros and outros for my hauls, just because I want to get those out of the way. No, I'm not editing videos right now. I just want to get things out of the way. But yes, I will see you guys in our next week video.